All right. So now I'm going to call my representatives in Tennessee. Now, I don't live full time in Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. I have land there. I pay taxes there, and I'm building a house there. So I am a constituent of Tennessee. So it gives me great pleasure to call Tennessee representatives because, unlike New York, just like so much that's going on in the country now, it's polarized. But I just cannot believe that fighting for freedom and democracy can be polarized by geography and by party. It makes no sense. This is the one thing that should be bipartisan. If anything should ever be bipartisan, this is it. So I'm going to start by looking up the correct person. And I'm going to go to the website, Razam, votervoice.net, Razam for Ukraine directory. I'm going to type in my zip code under find officials. I'm going to give them my address. By the way, I've already called these folks, but I want to just keep calling them. So let's start with the big fish, Senator Marsha Blackburn, who voted against funding last week. In our meeting with Senator Blackburn, she said, Putin cannot win. Okay, I agree with you, Marsha. Now, how do you expect Putin to lose unless the United States is going to fund Ukraine? That's a question.
Senator Blackburn's office.
Hello, I'm a constituent of Senator Blackburn, and I would just like to add my name to the people in support of Ukraine funding and ask her to please approve that as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to pass that along.
Okay, do you need my name or something?
Can I just verify your zip code, please?
38478.
Perfect. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. So you see, that's pretty easy. A little concerning that they didn't ask for any information off the bat. So the next Republican who's against Ukraine for Putin for some reason is Senator Bill Hagerty from Tennessee. And here's what's interesting about this. Two Tennesseans have fought and died in Ukraine fighting for freedom. I don't want to mispronounce their names, but I think it's Willie Joseph Cancel and Joshua Jones, I believe. Let me just see. I don't want to I mean, these guys made the ultimate sacrifice. Anyway, yeah, those are the names. So those guys gave the ultimate sacrifice, but these guys don't want to send less than 5% of our Department of Defense budget to Ukraine to defend against one of the biggest enemies that the United States has, if not the biggest of all time. It doesn't make sense. Why? So let's call them again at their Washington, D.C. office. This is Senator Bill Hagerty.
Senator Hagerty's office. This is Jillian.
Hi, Julian. My name is Robert Rose, and I am from Giles County, Tennessee, a constituent of Senator Hagerty. And I'm just calling to express my support for him to please approve funding for Ukraine and to please stop playing politics with Ukrainian lives and supporting Vladimir Putin.
All right. Well, I can certainly pass that message along for you. Can I get your zip code, please?
Yes, 38478.
All right. Well, we appreciate you calling.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, whatever. So the next one is Representative Scott Desjardins. His office is in Cleveland, Tennessee, but as I said, they're all in session right now. So I'm going to call and express my support for Ukraine. He actually got back to me when I emailed him. He has supported in the past Ukraine, and then he, as the political wind shifted, started saying, well, we got to make sure the money's spent correctly. Guess what? The money is spent correctly. It has a ton of checks and balances, and there's never been any widespread fraud discovered. None. So it seems like a red herring. I'm not sure why they keep saying that, except it's an excuse to advance perhaps a certain wing of the party's agenda for some reason to cause chaos and not fund Ukraine. It feels like it's politics, not reality. So, I'm not going to get into all those details unless he picks up personally, which he won't. I'm just going to support, log my support for Ukraine and hope that the numbers speak for themselves.
Congressman Desjardins office, how can I help you?
Hello, my name is Robert Rose. I'm a constituent of Congressman Desjardins, and I am calling to express support for continued funding for Ukraine. No, do you need any information from me? 38478. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye. So that's it. It's not that hard, guys. It took like 10 minutes. And I think it's did some good. I'm also going to, just because I'm very passionate about this, email them, and I'm going to put some messages on their social media. The reason that it's all on us to do it right now is because the clock is ticking. We only have like 24 to 48 hours to get this done. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. And I know some of you thinking, well, after the holidays, what could possibly happen? I don't know Ukraine's situation personally, but I do know from talking to people there that things are really dire, and just unknown is causing lots of issues. It's causing morale issues. Obviously, they're having to ration ammunition because they don't know what the status is from the United States. And that is a terrible message to send to our allies and someone fighting for their very existence. Just as a reminder, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia occupies Ukraine. Russia has killed at least 10,000 Ukrainian civilians in places like hospitals, playgrounds, schools, maternity wards. There have been about almost 1,000 children killed. There have been 20,000 children kidnapped from Ukraine, taken to Russian territory, and being re-educated to hate Ukrainians. 30% of the country has been mined. 17% of the country is being occupied. Millions have been displaced. The Ukrainian economy is in shambles, and there have been at least a dozen or more instances of actual war crimes that have occurred. I know it's really easy to get confused with all the Hamas, I'm sorry, but the war that's going on there, and to confuse these things. And while they are related, there's definitely Putin's fingerprints on a lot of the chaos that's happening there. The difference, it could not be more black and white. You basically have one country invading another, killing their civilians unprovoked. No terrorist attack occurred in Russia. No one went into Russia and provoked them. Russia did this on their own. Putin did this on his own. And he's consolidating power right now because he's up for re-election next year. And so he's already imprisoned his opponents and driven everyone else off into exile. And so it's very important that we don't let a tyrant like Putin win. And I have to think that any elected official who doesn't understand the security concerns that it would create, and I say concerns lightly, probably the understatement of the year, that if Putin were to beat Ukraine, if they don't understand that, they shouldn't be in elected office. And if they do understand it and they still vote against it, then they're a traitor. That's just the way it is. All right, so please make your phone calls. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.